Welcome to this live, beautiful humans. I want to talk about what does it actually mean to make love to the divine with our whole entire beings, in our whole entire lives, and live life in this way. And this, to me, is truly the feminine path, the highest feminine path, the path of the priestess. And so if you're new here, my name is Sofia Sundari, and I have created nothing short of a movement, which I call the Priestess Path. And I've created it back in 2016, and it came from a place of this longing to live my fullness, to live a life of profound fulfillment, and do it in a feminine way. Because most of the things we know about spirituality are practices and approaches that are created by men monks for men monks, and a lot of women just don't find a way to really be met and to live this life in a way that they feel that the depths of their hearts are met. And so in this time, I'm so happy to be here. I just had this real urge to be with my community in this way just now, in this time of the full moon. It's today. Today I'm also opening the temple doors of Isis codes today on this full moon, and it feels like this completion of a cycle that so many of us have been since the end of last year, beginning of this year. There have been just so much. I've shared, many of you have witnessed me going through my breakup. So many people are breaking up. So many of my closest clients are actually going through times of intense turmoil, reshape of identity, and breakup. And a lot of couples that we witness that really looked like those rock-solid couples have fallen apart. And I want to share what I feel is actually going on for all of us and what is possible for us this year and moving forward, and where are we actually called. And especially this will be relevant for women, but always men are super welcome, and you will find it relevant for yourself as well. So welcoming you, beautiful humans. Happy to be here together. What I want to share, so just the whole world has witnessed me going through my breakup, and I felt it's brought a really new perspective, it seems like, to breaking up, because even for myself, I have to say, I've never broken up in this way. As I shared, we came from the very beginning, our relationship was so harmonious, and then the breakup was also incredibly harmonious. And even more so, I actually feel like we've reached the highest point of love for each other, and the separation has been the biggest gift that we could have given to each other. And I am not very connected to Oliver's process just now because he is in meditation retreat and we're not talking, he's in silence. But for me, this separation actually has revealed parts of myself that I know I have abandoned, and parts of myself that I was not ready to face for many years. Because the separation, even though we decided it together, it was harmonious, as I said, still separation is a big crash of an identity. And I want to bring some gold for you here in this life, so stick with me. Like, some beautiful things popped up for me right from the cracks of what I've been shedding. So what separation brings is a sense of separation, right? Separation. We all have one main core wound. And this wound is incredibly sacred. We all have our personal core wounds, but then it all links to that sacred, deepest core wound of humanity. And I call it the wound of the heart. And it is so incredible to connect to this place, because we strategize our whole entire lives. We create whole entire identities in order not to go there. But you know what? Women who work with me closely, women who are part of ISIS code, my private clients, my field clients, the work that we do with them, we discover that there are several levels of fulfillment. Level 1 is where you just feel like, okay, I just want to make $1 million. I just want to live in a beautiful place. I just want to have an amazing partner. I just want to be like in a good place as a woman or as a man in myself. Yeah, I want to feel cool about myself, about my life. But then very soon this idea doesn't feel like it leads you anywhere, because it's empty. To just desire things for just the idea of things, or money for just the idea of money, it's like, so most of you I know are past that stage, if not all. And there's no, just to desire this thing just for the sake of this thing, no, just to desire a Ferrari or a fancy car just for the sake of, I don't know, yeah, maybe you have a dream, but you know that it's not, you cannot like make this about your ultimate fulfillment, right? Are we on the same page as that? I think this is easy, right? Then there comes the next level of fulfillment. The next level of fulfillment is where you're like, I actually desire personal fulfillment. I desire to feel fulfilled, and I am gonna be looking for this personal fulfillment. And what happens here? What does personal fulfillment look like? It may look like I want to have a certain lifestyle. I want to have a certain freedom, financial freedom. I want to have a certain type of connection in my relationship, certain type of communication. I want to have this kind of relationship with my children. This is how I want to feel in my family. This is how I want to feel about my business. But what happens once you reach those things, those states that you called for? What happens there? Once you're like, okay, so yeah, that's what I want. I want to have harmony in my family. Now I have it. Okay, well, I want to have this kind of lifestyle. I want to have this kind of thing. That's how I wanted to feel when I sit in my car, when I drive to see my friends, or when I drive to the gym. This is how I want to feel in my body. Then what happens? What happens then? once you're good, you're like, your lifestyle is good, you're like in a good place. What happens then? What do you think? And what happens then, what I witness and what we witness with my clients, is that there is the next thing. You then want more. You then want the next. And then the next, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And so, you may still feel empty. Yes. You may feel like there's always the next thing. Even if your dream seemed to be, and your desire seemed to be so wholesome, so not just about the thing, there's still an end to it, because then you get it, and then what? So at some point, a lot of people realize that even the goal of personal fulfillment is not very fulfilling. Because then you have to keep stretching your mind and keep like coming up with more dreams and more desires and more this and more that and blah blah blah. But one day, if you are especially a person who likes to go within and to focus on deeper aspects of yourself, you recognize that no, that's actually not all of it. There must be more, or if that's it, then it's really, really sad. Who have ever been in this place? Let me know in the comments, if you're live, or if you're watching the replay. Let me know. Let's talk about that. Because then I come into your life and I tell you that there is another path. There is a way to live this life actually where you feel like you're making love to the divine, and you want what love wants for you. And this is it's a whole shift of paradigm, because like there's nothing wrong with desiring personal fulfillment, because then, like, when you're fulfilled, and also other people benefit from that, because you are happy, you are filled up from inside. It's also good for others. You're a better parent, you are a better partner, you're a better friend, you're a better teacher, you're a better employee, whatever you do, you're a better employer, you're better. But still, I know that there are many of you over here right now whose hearts are aching for more, who are like, this cannot be it. There is an intuition, and I know for myself, I've had this intuition ever since I was a child. I was like, but what is this whole life about? I was asking people, what is this whole life about? Like, what are we about? Like, what is this thing about? What is it about? And people would tell me, maybe learn philosophy. I don't know, this girl, she's weird. She's from a different planet. My whole life. People were telling me I was from a different planet my whole life. Or a bit cuckoo, in other words. Until I realized that those things that I thought I was a bit cuckoo actually are my superpowers. Because this thirst for the unseen, this thirst for fulfillment beyond fulfillment, this thirst to recognize yourself beyond what the whole world believes themselves to be, it's a superpower. And I've gone places with this recognition, with this trust, because it takes you into trust. This sense of like, there must be more. It cannot be that my life is just about waking up a bit worried about the day, and then thinking about my to-do list, and then moving through the day, and then coming to the end of the day just to lay down and watch some Netflix and kind of space out from the stress that I've put on myself. No, there must be more. There must be more. There must be more than what most people do, with what most people see, with how most people portray this reality. There must be more. There must be more to being successful. There must be more to making money. There must be more to thriving in love than just doing the normal thing that we see others are doing, just going through the motions, just one thing after the next. There must be more. And so this is where we recognize that we need a different path. We yearn for a different paradigm, and I call this paradigm for women, this highest path for women, the Priestess Path. Yeah, it's a paradigm in which you do not need to destroy or make other paradigms wrong. There are multiple different approaches to reality. I feel like it's a complete waste of time to try to destroy something or say that that is bad, this is good. But it is our responsibility to be honest with ourselves, which is the hardest thing, by the way. To be really, really honest with yourself, where not even letting your conditioning to come in, because your conditioning comes in, and that's where you lose honesty with yourself, that's where you can accept a life way below, and the standards that are way below that your heart is yearning for. And that's what I see that's happening with these kind of big movements, big changes, big reshaping on this planet that's going on, is that people realize that I am meant for more. And I already thought I was pretty more, but I am meant for more. And such is the Priestess Path, because you want what loves want for you. And you realize that you are that love. So what does love want for itself? When there's no even distance between you and what you want. What is your highest becoming if you are already everything you could ever be? And when are you gonna stop? And when are you gonna have enough? And there is a way to get graspy about it, and that's not what I'm talking about. Because you can be grasping of like, I need more, I need to be more happy, I need to be more. But this, again, we're coming back to the personal fulfillment. Boring. at some point. It gets boring at some point. It has to. But from a sense of, I let love make love to me, and I exist in this continuous love making, and everything that's happening to me, and even when it's cracking my deepest wounds, as I was sharing with those separations, with those breakups, it's like we get cracked right into the wound, and it hurts. And you get to see your abandonment and the places where you've rejected yourself, and the things that you try to delegate responsibility for to other people, like how we do in relationships. Yeah, that our partners start to play certain roles, and then when you are alone, you're like, oh, no, I have to be all this for myself. Amazing! Celebration! This is what it's meant to be. You are meant to recollect all pieces of yourself, because you are that. You are all. You are that love. And in that, you are made love to, in all this cracking, in all this breaking of those identities, those perfect, polished images. You are being made love to, because that's what love making is, my friends. It's not there you put a little, you cover yourself with a little silk sheet, and you lay perfectly, and then you slowly open it, and then you are slowly being made love to, and then you complete, and then your partner moves away, and then you cover yourself with your perfect little silk sheet. No, this is so boring. This is boring. Make love is like, you can be anything in this love making. And there is a growl and a roar, and your throat opens, and your womb opens, and your belly opens, and you are gushing liquids, and you are expanded to the size of infinity. And you are one with the stars and with the entire cosmos. This is what it means to make love. How have you been making love so far? Did you take a little shit? Or did you let yourself be stretched open into infinity and be made love to by God, by grace, by infinity? Big difference. And how we live life is a big reflect. It's just, it's just that. And you see that in the bedroom. My message has been always about that. You can tell, I can tell in 3 seconds if a person, what kind of love making they're having, if they're doing the shits or if they're being stretched open into infinity. It takes me 3 seconds, literally. It's a superpower I've developed. Just send me a photo, I can tell you. So, anyway, we get to be that free. And it doesn't even, like, you don't even have an excuse to say, oh, it's when I've healed my wound. No, it's actually in the wound you are doing that. No, when my kids have grown up, or when I made $1 million, oh, it's easy for you to talk, you're successful, you're a millionaire. No, my friends, it's never too early, because it's now. You are being breathed by the breath of life now. Are you available? Hello? Are you available? Steiner said this beautiful quote, the tragedy of being an angel is that there's so much to give, but no one to receive. Just feel into that. Feel into that, how you move through your day, and how you get pissed about some small insignificant things that will vanish anyway in 3 seconds. The greatest fulfillment is in living this life as you are making love to love. And you see that you become an offering. You become the wood for life's fire, for love's fire. You become the wood for love's fire. Love is fire, you are wood. Offer yourself. What are you holding on to? What are you scared of? Big awakening comes with death. Yeah. My awakening started with the death of my best friend. Biggest tragedy. So many people wake up when they have near-death experiences, so when they almost died, but then they came back. And then they're like, my life will never be the same. And also in the ego death, which is what many of us are experiencing, where it's like everything you believed yourself to be the little, well, not that, but yeah, that also, you know, the little box you've created for yourself is like all like crumbling and breaking, and it's like you try to stitch it and you try to take the plaster and the tape and you try to put it together and stay, and then it's like breaks from inside, and suddenly there's a fire, it burns your freaking box completely, and you're like, no, but this part cannot go, okay, but this is forever, okay, this I've invested my whole everything into it, okay, I really put energy and effort and money into making it work, okay, it will stay. Okay, tape, more tape. That's glue, super glue. You try to super glue your freaking box, and it just doesn't work. It's not meant to. It's not meant to work. That's the thing. It's not meant to, because you're not meant to be in this little box. Super glue is not gonna help. You're not meant to fit. You're meant to break the box. And yes, you die in that process, but you know what? Even as you die, you continue making love to love. Even death is not gonna stop you. Because all that's dying is what you're not. And that is perfect. So let it die. All that you're not has to go. So the truth remains, so that love remains. Celebrate that. And that's how I say we can bleed and be blissful at the same time. At the same time, not like... Because that's the thing that happens for many people. They're like, no, I caught the wave and I'm good on the wave. And I'm riding the wave and I'm so good and I feel like I'm in the flow, I'm in the wave. And then inevitably some kind of happens and I lost the wave. So why do I keep losing the wave? And it's like, you missed the point. The shada bada bada is a part of your wave. It's not separate. It's at the same time. One and the same. No distance. No separation. Your thoughts, your mind going on. This means I will never be able to do that thing. It's not for me. Burn it. Now, recognize that this is just the same thing. It's all the same thing. It's all inviting you to crack so that you are finally you. You know, we do it like in so many ways. We put those blocks and limitations on ourselves in so many ways. It's very insidious. It's very insidious. You know, I spent 2 years of my life, like did you see my feed on Instagram? Have a look. It's perfect up until recently. It was like as close to perfection as you could imagine, at least, you know, to certain standards. So every image we've made, it was like most of the images, they had so much blood, sweat, and tears behind them. That's what I can tell you. So much of life force went into, it has to be perfect. Well, I didn't think like that. I was just like, I want to bring beauty. I want to share my care. I care about every single thing. I care about every single thing I say. I care so deeply. I love what I do because this is my life. This is how I make love to love. I love my clients so much. I want them to feel me, to recognize me, that this is what it's all about. And then, somehow, I put myself into a box. And then I started to try to fit into that box, and glue it, and bring the tape, and be somehow good, perfect, somehow. So exhausting. How exhausting. And then I was like, you know what? Finished. And then it just completely blew up my feed. And I cannot care less. Because I want to make love to love. And in ever bigger and ever bigger way, ever bigger way, ever bigger way. Because my whole life is an offering. This is very clear. It's an offering, and there's nothing better I can use this life for but to offer it to the divine. Because in this offering, I come into the embrace of my eternal beloved, which is divinity. And I'm so happy in this embrace. I'm blissful in this embrace. It's complete bliss. to realize that there's nothing to control. And my mind is fascinating because it's so smart and it really knows how to get sneaky and even fool myself. I don't even realize I'm doing this. It's so good. It's so smart. It's incredible. It's like a brilliant machine. And yet it will never come close to the divine. It will never understand God. No matter how much we study, no matter how much we know, that's why I'm not very impressed when people tell me, I've been doing this for so and so many years, I've been on the path for 20 years, for 10 years, for this many years. I've been a trauma therapist. It actually doesn't matter so much. What matters is your fragrance. And this is felt. And how willing you are to stop holding the box and offer yourself to love. This is just, you see this in the streets like this. There's nothing to say even. It's just a transmission, an energetic transmission that's there. And we just are so, because the mind is so intelligent, it's just so easy to reach a ceiling and say, well, I've had states of consciousness, I've had expanded states, I've had those experiences, I've had that already, I already know it. Beloved, you can never know God with your mind. It's just an ever-expanding surrender. That's the greatest way to live this life. Constantly offering everything. Every drop of yourself is to be offered. And this is alive. Life is so alive. Life is full of life. And it's now, and it's now, and it's now, and it's now. It's not what you did yesterday. It's not what you did 3 years ago. It's a completely different story now. I find myself in those places. No, but I've had those massive states of God, just oneness, this totality of existence, this completely mind-blowing, forgetting who I am experiences. I've had that. And yet, what I'm having now makes me say that all that was a kindergarten. And I used to think, those are glimpses, and they're so beautiful. And yet, it's now. It's now in this ever-expanding surrender, and not giving it to this intelligent one too much, because it will never understand it. It will never understand the freedom. It will never understand eternity. So, that's the vibe, my loves. That's the vibe. We are opening the doors to Isis Temple, Isis Codes Temple today. It's my short-term mastermind. It's probably, if not the last time I'm doing it, but one of the last times. And normally the closest way to work with me is my one-on-ones and my field mastermind, which is a year-long mastermind where we are walking this path for a whole year. And nothing. It's full. This is my path. My women on the inside are men are also welcome, by the way, into the field. But it's the people on the inside are this is my path. There's no U-turns for me. I'm not turning anywhere. This is my path. I want to bring my fullness into everything, into my family, into my business, into my relationships. This is my path in the field of miracles. Complete miracles from this surrender. So that's normally the closest way to work together. But now I'm opening Isis Code. So this is for 4 months only. So if you're not ready to go okay, full on, I am in. Yes, that's my level, that's my language, that's my path. Come for 4 months into Isis Code. Isis Code is just for women. We have a gorgeous, intimate group that will be your friends for life. And it's so important the kind of frequency you surround yourself with. If you are not having this level of conversations and your heart is yearning for that, if you're not having these kind of conversations all the time in your life, you will detour into stuff that is just about personal fulfillment. Because the whole life is pulling you in that direction. So Ice Code is a brilliant way to surround yourself with this level of consciousness, with these frequencies. And as I said, temple doors open today. We are having our opening ceremony today. You can join us. You can apply to join, because we do really review carefully the applications, because it's very important what kind of caliber of people comes in. It's not for everyone, but for those for whom it is, yes, this is for you. And you know it. And you know it. And your heart says yes, and your womb says yes, and your whole being is like, what else matters? Like, this is my life, this is my path. So we will keep the doors open a little bit, but now is the best time to come in. And if you have any questions, feel free to DM me, and I'm sending you all my love. Thank you for being here.